We are changing the world with 3 questions at a time. It's your night, MJ night. And let's get to the first question. And here's one I haven't heard from in a while. Hope I'm reading your handle correctly, my friend. Yuhan Solo. And his Twitter is @Axel. Question 1. Most underrated Keanu performance? Ooh. That is a very good question. You know, as an avid moviegoer, I've seen a lot of movies over the course of my life, and I think the only ones I've ever actually gone to the flicks to see Keanu Reeves in is obviously the Matrix trilogy, which I hear they're making a 4th movie. Why? Oh right, money. I suppose out of all the ones I can think of the ones that I've seen, is probably his role as Ted Theodore Logan from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. We don't talk about Bogus Journey. No. Now, it's not to say it's a terrible performance and underrated, but compared to all the other ones I've seen, Ted is probably the most underrated compared to the rest, because it doesn't get talked in such high regard as either Neo from The Matrix or his current series as John Wick. So I'd have to say, based upon what I've seen, Ted from Bill and Ted. Might not necessarily be the answer you were looking for, but you ask, I give. Question 2 from Dan Williams. What are your thoughts on the upcoming Wednesday Night Wars with WWE's NXT TV debut against AEW's weekly show? Like the Monday Night Wars wasn't enough back in the day, now we gotta have the Wednesday Night Wars. Then again, it almost was the Thursday Night Wars back in the day with WWF SmackDown versus WCW Thunder. And Oni Rakaku will be able to tell you firsthand, Thunder was terrible. Tell it, Oni. But, I've said this on Twitter to Triple H directly. I may even leave a link to the tweet in particular. But the fact that NXT is going to be given a 2-hour weekly show on USA each week is an absolute breakthrough. I've said for the longest time since watching NXT weekly from the 3rd quarter of 2015 right through RDR Next, and up until I kind of dropped off around summer 2016 when the likes of Bayley and Finn Balor got called up to the main roster, NXT was by far the better brand, because this is something I've never been quiet about with regards to WWE. Vince McMahon has no comprehension as to how a professional wrestling product works, because NXT was giving us what we all wanted. First of all, the announcers were calling the matches instead of telling stories. This is something Michael Cole needs to learn from, because we don't want to hear about the stories. Just call the damn match like JR did back in the day. And this is why JR is over at AEW. Oh yeah. Along with Mauro Ranallo, and that guy's a hell of an announcer. At the moment, with the way things are for AEW, I'm glad they've got a TV deal coming, and they deserve it, and Chris Jericho is their first world champion. Probably one of the very few times he's been a first ever again. He was the first ever undisputed world champion in WWE. Now he's the first AEW champion. I think, in all honesty, even though AEW is giving people what they want, which is an actual professional wrestling product, I don't think it's smart to go up against WWE directly on a Wednesday night. and vicariously, it's not a smart thing to do that on a Tuesday night either, because obviously WWE has SmackDown Live on Tuesdays. But they're now going to go to Friday nights as of October 4 because of moving to Fox Sports. So maybe if AEW can move to Tuesdays, who knows? But the way I see it, from what little I've seen of AEW, they're only going to continue to grow. WWE is still too big, but AEW has what longtime wrestling fans are yearning for, and that is actual wrestling. So, at the moment, I would say it's a case of let's see how things play out, but given how NXT is a much more well-established brand, and even though AEW is very liked, NXT is the best brand in WWE. So, I think WWE is going to win this one. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that to cause drama. It's fact. NXT is the best brand. And question 3 from Sean Retro. If MTV ever decided to reboot Celebrity Deathmatch, as long as they do it right, who would you like to see fight to the death? Please do not give me ideas. There's too far long a list of who I'd want to put in a list for that. I would like to have Robert Gottfried and Robin Williams. Ooh, no, dude, not a good idea. Versus Will Smith and Alan Tudyk as the main event in an original versus remake deathmatch. Oh, I see. To be a remake, because like I say, if you're gonna have like Robin Williams now, not a good idea. But since you have established it's an original doing a remake, maybe. If we're gonna do an original versus remake, I'd like to see Mariah Carey versus Jim Carrey again, simply because that was just hilarity in of itself. But the wrestling fans know where I'm going with this one. Original versus remake, Vince McMahon versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. And if they can get old wacky Macky Vinnie Mac with the Texas Rattlesnake themselves to redo that original death match that they had in, I think it was 98, 99, then I'm all in. Because that would be great to see. I know, let's just say for the sake of discussion, you're able to put people into these death matches situation. You know full well that my buddy Raider would love to go up against Brock Lesnar in a death match and finally give him that necessary L. He'd be no. It would be Raiden versus Paul Feig. And I can imagine him doing the Ken Sugar, oh I'm more a Shindoodoo, or then end with, you're gonna get this L. I know he's sitting there just like going, ooh, it's like, you're giving me ideas, and be a Shin Ray to be like going, okay, I'm supposed to be the conniving, dastardly one. What are you doing? You're making me look bad. I know he's laughing himself into hysterics with this. But, yeah, all serious. Love to see Vinnie Mac versus Steve Austin one more time. And it can be done because it's in animation, so there's no limitations. I mean, when you look at and I'm using it as an example here, when they did the Batman animated movie Return of the Caped Crusaders, it was at a point in their lives where Burt Ward and Adam West couldn't be Robin and Batman again in live action. But in animated form, absolutely. There's little to no limitations there whatsoever. And in my honest opinion, the late Adam West still had it and then some as Bat. That was such a treat to watch. So, yeah, hope that answers your question. For original versus remake, I'd love to see Steve Austin versus Vinnie Mac one more time. Those have been your 3 questions this week. You know how the shtick works by now. Leave a question in the comment section below, you send me a tweet, or leave a question at dynamicnight.com. Dynamicnight.com even. But until again, ask again.